What's up, YouTube? You checking out the Frequent Flyer, and as you can see, we got a package here on the table to unbox. We got the Blue Alien on deck. Let's get right in here, see what this is. Okay, so we got DIY drone. Get right in this and see what it is. This is courtesy of Banggood. I don't know what this about here. But looks like the DM002 actually, a do-it-yourself FPV micro. So the craft, the craft doesn't look anything like this. Here, I don't know what this is about. That picture there. Let's see what we got in here. First of all, we pulled out an FPV camera, an all-in-one. And wow, let me pull this out of the package so you guys can see this. We have an adapter here. Awesome. And we have a cam here. Wow, this cam seems to be soldered, kind of funny. Check it out from the side there. You guys see that? It's not straight on one end. On this side, it's sort of smashed in this way, wide on this bottom end here. But I guess that's okay. Has a little digital number reading on the back there. We have a flight controller here. Awesome. Color coded sockets there for the direction of the motors. Looks like we already have a power lead for the FPV. We got some motors here. Looks like 7mm motors with micro JST connections on there. We got a USB charger for the battery here, and the prop removal tool is in there. And we have the frame here and the battery. Looks like a camera. Looks like a camera cover too is in there. Looks like sticks for the transmitter are in there. And let's see what size battery. It's a 300 mAh battery. 300 milliamp hour. 1S. The last thing is 2 sets of propellers. So 2 sets of props in here. Looks like the CG022 style props. And so this thing requires some assembly. Pretty awesome. Actually, I think I'm just going to put this thing together now. Let's try to see what we can do as far as getting this thing together. Let's get the motors out. I'm not even going to look at the instructions of this thing. We're just going to try to put this thing together. We're going to wing it. That's what they call it. Okay, so let's see. Looks like things just snap on this thing, so shouldn't be too hard. Let's see. This looks like it's universal. Either side can be the back. Whoa. Either this side or this side, so we're going to go with this side. Mount that on there like that. So it doesn't look like they don't give us any mounting tape or anything like that. The motors are color coded. So this one's gonna go here. Got another red one coming over here on this side. And we got the 2 white ones on this side over here. Right there. I'm actually matching up the colors of the sockets and plugs there. Okay, check it out. So you really need to pay attention which way you mount this flight controller on this little frame, it does make a difference, and I'm going to show you why. Right here in the frame, you have different size holes on the sides to mount the camera holder. Now, the camera holder has different size mounting plugs there, or latches, if you want to call them. And so it's going to have to go this way. And the reason why it matters which way you mount the flight controller is because it only has an opening back here for the power lead. So if you have the power lead facing the wrong way, then you're not going to be able to mount the camera mount and hold the flight controller on. So you have to make sure, let's get this spun around. So you have to make sure that the flight controller is mounted the correct orientation there. And I'm still wondering how the heck, what am I going to do with the antenna here? I really don't want it laying flat on the board. I think I'm going to end up drilling a hole right here in this little part of the frame here in order for my antenna to come through so I can get better range out of this thing. So already at the assembly, I'm going to have to do a mod. I just know I'm going to have to do it because I really don't want to have short range with this thing. And I did see Quadcopter 101 with this, and his didn't seem like it had a very good range on it. And it could have been just the transmitter that he was flying with, the stock transmitter. But I think that it's always better to have the antenna poked out of the canopy there, you know, up in the air, so you can get better reception. It always works for me to get better reception. So yeah, that increases the range. So let's get that. Okay, so I got a little hole put in there real quick. And the way that I usually do that is I use my heat gun to heat up one of those little screwdrivers and just poke it straight through. Always gives a nice clean hole. And so let's try to get this thing mounted now. Also, I got the FPV lead going through the bottom here because I'm going to bring it around the side like that, or maybe the back there. So let's get the antenna through here. Hope the hole's big enough. There we go. And so let's snap it on the frame. There we go. Now that's holding the flight controller down. Let's plug up our motors. And this is supposed to go in that little notch there to hold it in place there. Pretty hard to do though. I was actually able to put the screwdriver on top and just press it through. And so now it's through. And we can plug it up off to the side on the bottom there. Get it plugged up. There we go. So now all we have to do is tuck these wires through the arms there. Okay, so this is the tricky part for beginners. So you can see the pitch on that. This one goes on this side here. Wow, and it doesn't look like the shaft of these props come down. They don't come down far enough to touch the top of the motor can. So that means when this thing flips over, well, actually it's going to hit the top of the antenna that's on the camera. But otherwise, if there was no camera on this and this thing crashed upside down, the motors have the possibility of being destroyed, as the bottom will be broken out of the motor can from the pressure of it hitting the top of the prop. It'll bust the bottom out of it. So this goes on this one. Oops. Look clumsy there with it. And this pitch here goes on this one. So there we go. So there, we got it put together now. So it's all done. You guys can expect some flight footage from this thing coming up really soon. Let's test that this fits in. Yep. Let's plug it in, see if... I don't think there's any lights. Oh, there are lights. Wow. Maybe we might fly this thing at night. But they do look pretty close together. But we'll see. You guys can expect some flight footage of this coming up soon. Maybe a night flight. And ultimately, a quick review or full review. It's the DM002, I think it is. The DIY drone. FPV. Thanks for watching.